Here we go.
Yeah,
One,
yeah.
2, 3.
From the mountains, and we will fight you in the streets, and we will fight you in the valleys. You cannot take what isn't yours, and we will fight your goons and lawyers, and we will fight your Pinkertons. And we will fight your bought-off congressman. You cannot take what isn't yours. So la da 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 la da la da 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 la da 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 da. And we will take you from your mansions. We'll burn your towers to the ground. And you will reap the whirlwind that you've sown. You cannot take what isn't yours. So la da 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 la da 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 la da 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 da. And we will fight you from our houses, and we will fight you in the streets, and we will fight you in the valley. You cannot take what isn't yours. No, you can't take what isn't yours.
Could I pick a more inopportune time? Yes, I could. to be with us at the Lo-Fi Lounge, but you know, our mutual friend Patrick Judy had mentioned to me. He goes, Jackie and Julie did this really cool presentation talk. It was called the what now?
The Crackademic Crumbposium.
Crackademic.
In honor of an academic symposium. Yeah.
Yeah. Say it one more time. I'm going to call it the Crackarama, the Carpeteria. I'm going to call it everything but what it is. It's called the what?
Julie, go.
It's called the Crackademic Crumbposium.
So first, what led you guys to think about doing this?
I have to give Jackie 99% of the credit. So
it came from a couple of things. One was my very first camp-in experience was the one in 2020. Okay. In January, before they shifted it to March, and I was nervous about leaving the beginning of my teaching semester to fly down to see a band. Like, I was not doing that regularly at the time. And so I got a friend of mine at UGA to invite me to come and give a lecture there on the topic of that I work on in my scholarship. And I sort of folded that into my experience at the camp-in. And Lowery and Valina knew about this enterprise and thought it was kind of funny. And then a couple of years later, like we'd continue this would continue coming up. Like, why don't you do another talk? And then I was like, okay, wait, I'm not going to do another, standalone talk, but like we've got so many people in the Crumb community who are in academia in one way or another, who are teaching at the college level. I'd talk with Phil Hughes often in the audience about, our sort of common teaching experiences. And then I was hearing about other people who were active as researchers and teachers in colleges as well. And of course, Lowry's main job is doing that. So we, I sort of posted something on Facebook in the Crumb page about like, what if we put together some kind of little mini symposium? And there were so many people who responded to this. And I think it was actually Johnny who came up with the term crackademic.
Oh yeah, he would.
And, in any case, it was a really fun conversation there. And then it was like, all right, what if we actually do this?
People sweet potato, be my honey lamb, just around the campfire, hang around a while. I become scheming, someone else's vibe. Everybody loves all hates us, but we're standing in line. So waiting in the morning, coming up, rather than let's go. We do the gotta go, doing it, the drive, so we're operating, educated, not supposed to leave it. I get a list, think I'm gonna have to be sedated. Be a sweet potato, be my honey lamb. Give me something like 2.0. I'm gonna get caught in.
So you got the idea, and then how did you two guys kind of hook together?
Well, I connected up with Jackie, and although I'm not an academic, I have organized and participated in a lot of professional conferences, i.e., lawyers and other professionals, accountants, consultants, et cetera, talking about their stuff, which is slightly different, but it's similar. And certainly I had, organized and moderated a lot of talks. And so I said, well, I probably no one wants to hear me talk about law, but, but I'd be happy to help with the, the organizing, the moderating, the, that part of it so that Jackie and the other professors could focus on the important part, which was their academic talks.
So what'd you talk about?
Well, it was really fun. I mean, we started off, we just wanted to kind of keep it small because this was so experimental.
Sure.
And I should say that I had originally thought, why don't we just have a room at the college and just get into like the lecture room that David uses for his classes or something like that. And we'll just do it there in the morning. It'll just be, a dozen people or something like that.
Right.
And David is actually the one who was like, well, why don't we do it at the 40 watt? I was like, oh, okay, that's a whole other thing. So we basically were, just sort of transposed our lectures into that environment. But we had four, and because it was experimental, we had four people. There were more who were ready and eager to participate, and we're hoping that next year this will be possible. But the four talks were on, it was Karen Habricht on her work with primates and sort of experiments with monkey behavior in scientific labs.
Yeah.
Phil Hughes gave us one of his class lectures on plate tectonics of the kind that he would give in the geology department at his institution. I talked about Gothic choir screens, these interior furnishings in medieval churches.
Yeah.
And then David talked about the sort of geography of music scenes and the things that have to happen in certain regions to make a viable music scene possible.
Say now, my love, won't you come and help me steer? Say now, my love, won't you come and help me steer? I've been crying, gonna throw away all my tears. Man comes to our town, he says he's gonna do us right. Man comes to our town, says he's gonna do us right. Gonna build us a factory, we want it, we can work day and night. The whole town jumped in, don't you know? Everyone was pleased by the news. The whole town jumped in, everyone pleased by the news. So we were all struck down, dying of the factory blues. The river we drank from, well, she ran below the factory. The promise we were making had poison you could not see. And we were cranking them out, thankful for the factory. Till a man comes to our town, says he's gonna shut us down. Oh, man comes to our town, says he's gonna shut us down. With a smirk on his face as he passes for another town.
So you had these four talks, and then, well, how did it go over?
I think it went over very well. What was really great was we had a full house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had
Yeah.
somewhere I added 150 people in the audience, I would
Mhm.
say. Now, of course, this Crumbposium supplanted what usually happened on Friday morning, which was Lowery would play a solo concert at the 40 watt, and
Mhm.
there'd be pizza. So we did have the additional draw of pizza and churros and other refreshments. But that said, people didn't come get pizza and leave. We had a few technical issues with getting set up. We had to improvise the format a little bit. The original idea was everybody would give their 15 minutes, and then I would moderate questions and try and incite discussions among the academics. But it didn't exactly work out that way. But we like musicians do when things don't go their way, we improvised. So like any other academic and or performance setting, while this is going on, I am getting texts from Valina, aka the boss lady, saying, this person's really already talked for 15 minutes. We really
The band up
30,
stage.
Yeah, give them the hook. Well, she didn't see give them the hook, but that was, there was a little bit of that. So that said, it was very well received. I don't know about you, Jackie, but I had people come up to me afterwards say, I could give a talk about this,
Yeah.
So, there is an abundance of, ideas and
Yep.
things for next year.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, Julie, you played such a huge role. I mean, the moderator and the MC at these sorts of things is crucially important. And your experience in doing this kind of thing really showed. I didn't expect there to be a full house. I thought really maybe there would be like 10 people. And it was a full house, and people were so cool. Like the Crumbs were there and they asked good questions. They were interested. I was watching from the back of the room. The audience was attentive, interested. I had so many really interesting conversations with people afterwards who had great questions, or they had places they had traveled that tied into what I was talking about. And it was so heartening and wonderful. I mean, at a time when, you know, academic institutions and studies and education are so much in danger,
Sure.
to see a crowd of people who may or may not have direct connections to the stuff that we study, who were so, in there with us, was really heartening and inspiring. And I loved it.
Well, first, educators are the worst audience, number one. So
Stuck in this new devolution, so unbelievably true. Ain't overdue revolution. It's up to me and to you. Hey, aren't you tired of standing? They're like some prisoner of war. While they keep taking advantage, and then come looking for more. The dark is in full view. So what are you gonna do? Everybody sing it. It's time to get out there and shine your light, shine your light. Hey, 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 shine your light, shine your light. I know you got it in you. Shine your light, shine your light. Hey, 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 go out and shine on. Okay, now you guys know the chorus, so I expect you to sing on the next one, David and Johnny. So many things that are broken, so many left in the dark. They'll never hear the unspoken. We all need a spark. Hey, aren't you tired of standing? They're like some prisoner of war. While they keep taking advantage, and they come looking for more. The dark is in full view. So what are you gonna do? Here it comes. It's time to get out there and shine your light, shine your light. Hey, 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 shine your light, shine it bright. I know you got it in you. Shine your light, shine your light. Hey, 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 go out and shine on. This is where the guitar solo comes in, Johnny. The dark is in full view. The dark is in full view. The dark is in full view. So what are you gonna do? It's time to get out there and shine your light, shine your light. Hey, 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 shine your light, shine it bright. I know you got it in you. Shine your light, shine your light. Hey, 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 go out and shine on. Shine your light, shine your light. Hey, 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 shine your light, shine it bright. I know you got it in you. Shine your light, shine your light. 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 Shine your light, shine your light.
So in this sort of two-way street, Julie, I was telling the first time we met when I handed you my guitars in the middle of the desert. I go, can you hold this?" The friendship that we've had, and all the other conversations we've had since then, it's opened up my mind about what music is. That is an exchange. It's always an exchange, to the point that all these people out there, that they have a story. that
Mm-hmm.
they are from all walks of life, using this as a way to kind of share, well, here's some of the things that we're interested in life. Isn't it good that education exists? Isn't it good that there's
Mm-hmm.
people who dedicate their lives to this art,
Mm-hmm.
this art of learning?
Everything is within walking distance. It's
Yeah.
possible to come to camp and park your car, if you even brought a car, and
Right.
just walk the whole time, and just everything is right there.
So few people can start a movement, right? So few, a handful of people. Julie created Bradlow stock.
Yeah.
Because I remember talking to her at a breakfast, and she goes, I'm going to be having this birthday, and I got this idea. It was like way in advance, and I remember being up on the stage, and we're playing. It was the best night we've ever played. It was the best performance that our band ever played. We were really good on that, and
You really were. But I tell people are like, how did you get Chris and the Dangers out there? And I'm like, well, I started working on Chris about 3 years prior.
I'm always amazed of what impactful things happen with just a handful of people. Just
Mhm.
a few folks, and that's why I so much uh, uh, love academia.
One of the things that I loved about this event was that so many people in the audience who I talked to afterwards were saying, I wish I could have heard more about this aspect of, geology, or I would have loved to have heard more about the choir screens or whatever. Like the audience got the sense of our own enthusiasm
Right.
for what we're talking about, and they knew that we had so much more to say, and people actually seemed appreciative of that. I mean, I think that this format um, allowed everybody to have a sense of like how much more there is.
I'm so glad they decided to do it the 40 watt, and it's that community of people that have been together for so many years
Mm-hmm.
that they enjoy each other, they learn from each other, they love this sense of community.
On the vine. Fruit is calling from the trees. Hey, we're touching what I got down. Like some jerky cosmonaut. A million miles below their feet. A million miles.
You were coming back from there. Did it get your mind thinking?
Actually, one thing that I've been thinking about a lot recently, actually, and what I was speaking about at the event, I think it's this topic of these choir screens. This is the book that I was referring to there. This is an example of one of these Gothic screens,
Oh,
like the
okay.
sort of partitioning wall within one of these buildings. I had actually been talking with David Lowery about this one at one point. And he was like, "Oh, it sounds kind of like the design of a recording studio." Where like, the musicians are on one side and the technical people are another. And so you get different sight lines and sometimes you can see things, but you can't hear them or vice versa. And I was like, yeah, that's actually super interesting. Because I've been thinking about the acoustics of these spaces and how these screens, functioned to hold sound in the time when chants were becoming more and more complex. And so it's like that got me thinking about these screens in a new way. And that was something that I wanted to talk about a little bit at this event. So bringing the work out to audiences that do not go to my academic conferences,
Right.
and getting perspectives from like these other fields. And this has happened with so many other conversations that I've had with Crumbs. And it's like it's the coolest thing, this community, because it's like both a matter of like, all right, we are all inwardly moved by the same music. I think that is really powerful and a really transcendent thing. We've been listening to the same songs are kind of shaping our inner worlds, like that brings people together. But then also like these are the people who would travel take their extra time, take whatever extra money they have and travel to go and be together at this thing. For me, this ties into the kind of like ritual studies that I do when I'm thinking about like medieval pilgrimage, people who are leaving their villages and going off to a saint's shrine somewhere, and they're going to meet up with other people who have the same interest in that saint or whatever. I mean, this kind of community, these kinds of choices that people make is something that connects us together across so many other boundaries. And I think that just that experience for me is really special and important personally, but also intellectually, it ties into the kinds of things that I study. And I love being, like living this.
It's been really interesting for me to see over time, the development first, certainly in the camp out and lo-fi sphere of, Crumbs and their bands, starting to participate in the shows, both at camp out and at lo-fi, fi stock.
Right.
But this is certainly an extension of that, having, Crumbs who aren't musicians, or at least that's not their day job, participating, in the Crumbposium, which I thought was really great, and another way to, expand our community and for people who aren't musicians to share their contributions.
It's perfect because it's never just, and it's never just been about the music, but it's that tributary idea again, is that if you create these other connections within folks, it just creates more meaning.
It's not just about going to museums, although it's partially that, but like this kind of community building around creative expressions, like this is the arts. This is what I think, our society needs. Yeah. We need as individuals. I think that we all get this sense. That's why we go to these things. For outside perspectives, people who are not part of like a fan or like music or arts community, things like, haven't you seen this band a million times before? It's like, no, man, you don't get it. Like, this is a whole other thing. And right now, more than ever, we need this. I feel like coming together around creative, productive enterprises that are about human beings and what they can do is an act of solidarity and resistance to powers that are trying to suppress that.
When we started out far from home, out in the mean streets like a child used to roam, gaze through the windows, I could see us in the glass. Colors, so many colors, colors meant to last. And I believe in something, I believe in something. We got love for one thing. Down for the count. Ask me where you're going. I said swimming on the mountain. It looked just like you in spirit hollowed out. We dream the same dreams and we got lost in the crowd. But we believe something. We believe something. We might end up nothing. Sun in the sky till the moon climbs high. for me. I see you in these pictures, you're so far away.